Yeah, I'm feeling quite relieved. In the sense, of course, it has been a hectic journey for me in Vision RX. So I feel quite good because we have achieved a lot in this company.
Know that how much high is your bank account right now?
Yeah, it's quite high. Of course,
How many zeros?
lots of zeros are there. Say in London or the US. And they
Hello everyone, welcome to Quick Eyes. So today we are in Gurgaon, and as you can see in my background, it's the Vision RX lab. So this is one of the lab in India which produce maximum lenses. In terms of revenue also, this is one which gets maximum revenue to India for lens as a category. So today we will meet the CEO of Vision RX, the ex-CEO of Vision RX. Why is he ex? We will also share that with you. So we will meet Sanjiv Gupta, who has built up this whole brand along with his partners. Check out the lab from inside and also the history of Vision RX and how Nova as a brand has been built up.
Yes, come.
We have Mr. Sanjiv Gupta with us, who is the CEO of Vision RX. I think, is it X or you're still there?
Well, I'm still there.
Okay.
So I'll be formally retiring on 20th February next year.
Okay. So how you are feeling, sir, after retirement? It's like
Yeah, I'm feeling quite relieved. In the sense, of course, it has been a hectic journey for me in Vision RX. So I feel quite good because we have achieved a lot in this company. Yeah, so we are retiring on I'm especially retiring on a high.
Okay, great. I can understand. I'm not sure if you will share that or not, but I want to know that how much high is your bank account right now?
Yeah, it's quite high. Of
good.
course,
How many zeros?
lots of zeros are there.
Okay. Great.
So
So sir, to start with, so normally हम शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. So how, if I'm not wrong, I think your father started it.
yeah, my father conceptualized the Vision RX in 1985. It was earlier, the company was GKB RX. Yeah. So he was into retail business, and I was actually starting my engineering. Yeah.
Okay.
So
पहले retail में थे.
yes, he was into retail. Our GKB Opticals retail at Gariahat was the only store we had that time. So, and then because since my uncles were into manufacturing, they started from Agra, mineral lenses, but they wanted to expand. And they found that Goa was giving a good opportunity to expand because in terms of subsidies and everything. So they moved there. Two of my uncles moved there, and they started mineral glass manufacturing in a big way. And then they were doing pretty well there. So my father also wanted to get into lens manufacturing because earlier he also had some experience of lens manufacturing when he was living in Agra. And that time he was taking care of the lens manufacturing along with one of my uncles. So when he moved to Kolkata, he started the retail GKB Opticals, but his manufacturing idea was still there. And then being in retail, he found that, we had a very good retail at Gariahat store in Kolkata. And that time, the customers, we used to get lot of premium customers. And these premium customers used to demand good quality frames and good quality lenses. And some of these customers were well traveled, and they used to buy some of the spectacles abroad, say in London or the US. And they would come and ask that whether you have those kind of lenses here. So at that time, of course, the basic lenses like single vision, bifocal, all mineral lenses were prevalent. But some of the customers used to ask for progressive lenses.
And
this is, I think, in 1980s.
1980s.
Yeah. So that my father, he used to think that how can I give these kind of lenses to my customer? So, of course, India was just at the point of, growing into lens market. We had one or two labs for plastic lenses starting in Mumbai. So, and that time, even Tata company, they started their plastic lens manufacturing, and they started with the brand name Resilience.
Okay.
So my father had this idea that, if you have to do some manufacturing in lenses, then it's going to be plastic lens manufacturing and into RX lens manufacturing business. So my uncles who were in Goa doing glass lens mass production of glass lens, single vision lenses. So they started a prescription lab in Goa, which again motivated my father that yes, I'm being in the retail and I'm directly in touch with the customers, and these customers are asking for high quality or latest lenses, which is all plastic lenses. So then he got motivated to start RX Lab, and for that he wanted me to come and take care of the production. Of course, so of course this whole project to start RX Lab was conceptualized because I was doing my engineering. Okay. And then he timed it in that way that once I complete my engineering, we'll have the lab started. So even during my engineering second year or third year, I we went to Germany for taking training on the machines. Yeah.
And again, which year, sir, this is?
So this was 1985, 86, you can say.
So you went to Germany during that time?
During that time. So and then of course that time, of course, any project would take some time to implement and things like that. So of course the machine got timed, and then we received the machines in late of 1986, and 87 early I came out of engineering, and we immediately started the production in the plant.
And you did your engineering from?
I did my engineering from BIT West Rachi. I'm an electronics engineer. Yeah, I had a passion for electronics, so I chose electronics because being engineer gives you a big technical mind. Correct. Correct. So that was the thing, and we started our lab in actually in 1987. You can say that. And then of course there was a good demand because everybody, all the premium opticians in India wanted plastic lenses. Okay. Because this was something new as compared to glass lenses. So that's why we got a good demand from our own optical shop and then from other optical shops like Lawrence and Mayo and Himalaya and many, many others. So, and then we started to sell to opticians in other cities other than Calcutta. So which was Bombay, south of India, Chennai, Bangalore, everywhere, because there was no manufacturing of plastic lenses, especially in south of India or in Delhi that time. Okay. So the two labs were there in Bombay, and then we were having our lab in Calcutta, and then Goa was separate lab. So that way we started to have customers here, and we started to supply them this thing. Okay. So from there, Vision RX started to grow.
So then I see, if you ask me personally, globally, I see India का कोई brand जो बाहर जाके बना है, that is Vision RX especially, and within Vision RX Nova is also there. So how do you thought of starting into exports and then coming down to Delhi and then putting up a lab here also, which I feel this lab is bigger than Calcutta's lab, if I'm
Yeah, far bigger. So what happened was, as the lab was growing in Calcutta, we saw that this business of lab is actually a localized business where you need to give lenses quickly, as fast as possible to the customer. And as there were more labs coming up in different cities, in order to compete with them, so Vision RX also needed to have a lab in any of the metro cities.
Okay.
So then we started to open smaller labs in Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, uh, Bombay, and Ahmedabad, and places like that. Yeah. So this is how, of course, the business started to keep growing, and of course, the big lab was in Calcutta, which was supplying most of the different types of lenses, and in terms of higher index lenses, tinted lenses, and a lot of other lenses. So this is how the lab business was kept on growing, and then there was this new technology of digital processing machines started to come in, digital progressive lenses, basically. So this was the major breakthrough, because earlier progressive lens used to be made from conventional progressive blanks, and we could make progressive lenses using a normal single vision blank, and we could do different designs of progressives here. So this was a big one, and when this technology got introduced, we immediately took this technology. So there, that time, of course, the major machine manufacturers was Satislow, and then Optotec and Schneider. So, but Optotec gave us the solution to do, because we were primarily using Satislow machines, but Optotec had developed that digital progressive making machines of which is combination of generator and polisher. So, and then they were also giving this setup along with a design where they could we could take the design of Seiko through them, or license the design through them. So then we started to make digital progressive lenses, and we had our partnership with Essilor in 2006. 2006, okay. So that time, of course, Essilor had already come into India much before that, but then they were looking to expand. And in to expand, they knew they were pretty aggressive in expansion, so they wanted to have partnership with Indian labs so that they could grow faster. Give their expertise as well. So we found that once the digital progressive lenses manufacturing started, and we were having some export customers as well, so we saw that there was a good demand for these lenses, and also higher value added lenses. And the only criteria, of course, was that the quality of lenses should be good. Correct. So we had that time, of course, we were all the time in manufacturing. I was very, very particular about maintaining high quality in our manufacturing. And for that, of course, we never compromised on taking the best of the machines, best of consumables, best of blanks to make this thing, and then using the best of softwares and processes. So this having good quality lenses helped us in getting some export customers. Now we had a limitation of running the lab in Calcutta, and then to logistically make the lenses reach uh, our customers in Europe. So that was becoming a challenge, because of course Calcutta did not have much of international flight connections, and so all the lenses had to go through Delhi. So एक दिन extra लगता होगा उसका. Yeah. So that was then the idea that this export business is showing, a lot of positives, and we found that this is really the business we have to grow. So we then conceptualized the idea of setting up a RX lens lab in a big export lab in Gurgaon. Okay. We already had a domestic lab in Delhi, which was in Mohan Cooperative, but then it was a smaller lab, and then we needed much bigger space and everything. So we then started the lab in Gurgaon, and later on we merged the Mohan Cooperative to Gurgaon. Okay. So this was in 2009 when we launched the Gurgaon lab in Vision RX. Formally, we launched it in 2010 along with some of our export customers. Okay. So, since we talk about exports, so which all countries are we exporting right now? And मेरे को, मतलब, I would say even my audience would like to know कि what specific countries are peculiar with, like let's say Germany को कुछ specific चाहिए होता होगा, France को कुछ चाहिए होता होगा, Canada also I think you have your offices now, so they would also be looking for something specific. So normally इन लोगों की need क्या होती है, why they are working with Vision RX and with not someone from China or Korea and all? So our major export customers were in Europe, in France and Germany that time. And one of them was in UK. Of course, their primary requirement is high quality, high quality. Okay. No compromise on quality. So they found our lenses to the level they wanted. Okay. So that was a big one. And so we started to serve some of our customers there, and slowly we could make more customers. So In Germany, we had one company called Wetzlik, which came on board, and they have been our old customers for a very long time. They also have their own lab now.
Okay.
Then we got one more big customer, that was ophthalmic in France.
Okay.
They were distributor for contact lenses. They used to manufacturers and distributor for contact lenses in France. So they were in touch with 3 to 4 thousand opticians, and they wanted to use their distribution network for distributing lenses. So they had this idea, and when they came in touch with us, they liked everything of ours: the product portfolio, the price, the terms and conditions, and everything. And because we were quite prepared for all this to work with any export customers. So then that was one of the another big customer which started with us. And of course, so we were basically having major customers in Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
So only about 8 years back, we started an office in Canada.
Okay.
Also, we started in UAE. So we found that the Canadian market, had a good potential, and then Canadian market was still getting their lenses from US and from other countries and things like that. Mm, So we started with some distribution over there, and then later on we started our office.
Okay. So let's say कोई अगर let's say कनाडा में कोई ऑप्टिशियन है और वो ऑर्डर लिखवाता है कनाडा की आपके ऑफिस को एंड देन वो यहीं से प्रोसेस होता होगा आता यहीं होगा, then how much time does that take?
Yeah. So in order to set up this lab and to do export business, we had to have a very strong IT system. Yeah, had to be par with the world, lab systems and everything how they work. So where the order is punched on a POS, point of sales, say at the optician shop, and then from there the order moves to the lab. So same thing, we used to have, we had our office, sales office, which would receive the IT system over there, would receive the orders from the opticians or from the wholesalers or distributors, and then from there the order would electronic come to Gurgaon, and this was all seamless. And then the orders which would come, then they would start to go into the lab for processing, and for processing we had a very good, strong RX calculation software. Yeah. Now that to set up this RX calculation software, it took us a lot of time because we had to program it, customize it to all the different kinds of lenses, then the parameters and the macro settings and everything, so that the calculation becomes fully automatic. Okay. Yeah, there is no manual intervention, because then the software takes over and it does all the calculation automatically, sends all the calculations directly to the machines. Okay. So when the order moves in the lab, it is just all the time it is scanning the barcode, and then the machine settings are coming, and even the operators, they have the order form which has all the values and everything, and then of course to see how the order is going to be made. So this IT system was extremely important, and then also to logistically control the movement of lenses in the lab, because we had to deliver most of the lenses in 24 hours. Yeah. So 24 hours to 48 hours, sorry. Yeah. So there shows you have to control the movement of the, you don't want lenses to be stuck at one place for some reason or the other, and then this information should come to the senior management, where they can immediately intervene and then take control of the situation of any bottlenecks happening. So this software is now, of course, is very common in any big lab. Okay. So there is no way you cannot operate without that. Other than that, I just wanted to answer your earlier question where you were asking us that how Vision RX fared in front of our competition with China, Korea, and all that. So China and Korea, of course, China is mainly into mass production of plastic lenses. They are not so much into RX lens production. Of course, that time Korea was, some of the companies were there into RX lens production, because for them it was some of these companies had a forward integration where they were making semi-finished blanks, and they wanted to do a natural progression into RX lens.
Acha.
Yeah, so because they were already selling semi-finished blanks to Europe and America, American labs, and some of the customers they must have met, and they would say, "Oh, why don't you make RX lens itself for us?" So what happened was there were quite a few customers who were buying from Korea. They were not satisfied with the quality because they had their expertise into mass production, but not into RX lens. So RX lens seems to be simple, that it's just a lens, but it is much more complex than that because there is a whole lot of quality parameters. Some of the key quality parameters being power accuracy, spherical, cylinder, axis, all have to be very, very accurate within the tolerance, within the thickness of the lens, which is again very, very critical. You know, everybody wants a very thin lens, correct? You know, whether it's a plus lens or a minus lens. And then to have a lens which is smaller in size, because if you make the lens smaller, then you can achieve lesser thickness. So in this less thickness, smaller size, you need to have power accuracy. And then the challenge, of course, happens when you are dealing with so many materials. So many materials which are having different indexes. Now, you have 1.5, 1.56, 1.6, 1.67, and goes up to 1.74. And each of these higher index materials are difficult to handle because they have become softer material. And then you have photochromic lenses, photochromic material along with higher index. So again, the challenge comes because if you have a photochromic property in a lens, then the lens material will start to become a little bit more soft. To handle a lens, a softer material, and to achieve, you know, accuracy in power and good quality, it's a challenge where you have to do a lot of machine settings and macro settings and things like that. So it's not easy. So these kind of expertise we developed, we really worked hard on this thing, because our idea in Vision RX was to make, and still is today, Vision RX is a super market for lenses. Correct. You name the lens, the Vision RX supplies. Correct. And this is the beauty of our lens business, where a lot of our customers, they used to come up with, "Do you have a lens like this?"
If you ask me, sir, this is my personal thing which I have seen. I feel if someone, तो क्या सब करते हैं, but आज से 10 साल पहले if someone needs a 8-based prescription lens in a sunglass, I don't think anyone else can do better than Vision RX.
Surely, for sure.
And with mercury coating and all also.
Absolutely. So, like, we used to all the time work on making new products. And I would really mention my brother, who was taking care of marketing, sales, and product development. He would all the time, you know, come up with a new product and say that we have to manufacture this. And surely some of the customers were demanding it, or and then otherwise he would always say that this will have a good demand in the future. So we never bother whether this new lens will get us what kind of business it will come or not. We just went ahead and tried to develop that lens. And the new lens, say whether the lens is new in terms of design, new design of progressive, or a new design of occupational lenses, or new material. Now there's a whole lot of new materials which have come in. Now, one of the major material is now blue cut. Right. Yeah, blue protect lenses. And then blue protect lenses with different indexes and with different photochromic and things like that. Then in photochromic, you have transitions, and then you have other photochromics. Then we also had full range of sun lenses, like you said, higher base curve lenses. So that means higher base curve sun lenses are normally used for sports sunglasses. Yeah. Sports sunglasses like Oakley, even Mao Jim, and all these sports sunglasses, they need higher base curves. How to make a higher base curve lens, it's not easy, because then again the challenge comes in terms of power, accuracy, in terms of prism balancing. because when you have a curve, you have some kind of a prism getting generated naturally into the lens, which will affect your vision. So we have to balance the prism in the lens. So then doing the tinting and the coating and everything.
So, if you ask me, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है that
machines.
DRX went to a pinnacle because all these light-based lenses and all कोई और बनाता नहीं था as good as what we were doing it. So उस time पे Oakley lenses used to be very expensive, price थोड़ा कम हो गया. So in Oakley, if someone wants to put a lens, it was just Vision RX only. There was nothing else. So let's say if there is someone else who has a lab and they put exactly same machines, softwares and all, जो कि Vision RX के पास है. So can they match or?
Yeah, it is not possible to match.
Okay.
Because you can buy machines,
Yeah.
you can buy some standard processes,
Right.
but lots of our processes are customized. It cannot be bought, it has to be developed.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like in Vision RX, we do 20 different types of AR and mirror coatings.
Okay.
It was all developed in house.
Acha.
Yeah. And then at one point, when we had the partnership with Essilor, a few years down the line, they offered us that we can market, you can manufacture and market Rizal lens.
But no one else was done, I think.
Yeah, so they started to, expand the business of Rizal.
Right.
And for that, of course, they were asking their partners that you can now manufacture and distribute it. So we immediately took that up. And of course, the process was set up by Essilor. But in the process, we learned what is special about the coating process of Rizal. And some of those ideas were used to put into our coatings.
Okay.
Yeah, so of course, even the coating which Rizal was developed by Essilor was done after a lot of R&D. So what kind of chemicals are being used and what is the thickness of the layers and what is the combinations in the layers, those kind of things. These are small technical things, but they make a major difference in terms of the quality of the coating. So of course we had the license, manufacture, market and distribute Seiko lenses. So before doing that, Seiko had said that you need to have a level of expertise to manufacture. And when we are confident that you can manufacture Seiko prescription lenses, means you have developed that expertise and we will help you do that. So especially in higher index lenses, Seiko was definitely more popular into higher index lenses, say 1.667 and 7.4. So that time, in order to do hard coating of these higher index lenses, from our standard hard coating vendors, coating solution vendors, we did not get those hard coatings. So they said that we will arrange this for you from Japan. So that was one of another turning point where we had this higher index lacquer coming from Japan through Seiko, and then we could manufacture high quality coating on higher index lenses. So like this, then at one point we had a partnership with Rodenstock.
Yeah, right.
So Rodenstock wanted to come to India, and then they were looking for a partner. Their company philosophy has always been to have a partner in a country.
Okay.
Where they would lend their expertise of lens making, whether it's design or coating. And then the partner he has the high technology lab. Then they can let out this processes to them so that they can set up the process and manufacture order stock lenses to the level of quality what they do in Germany. Okay. So all these kind of things took a lot of time because just not having the machine, but then they had insisted that for processing these lenses at every stage we want some high technology checking machine. Okay. Checking instruments. Yeah. So like how to measure the surface which is getting surfaced. So we would just measure the power because the final result of the curve is the power.
Correct.
But then they would say that in the intermittent situation of surfacing,
Right.
that is from generating to smoothing to polishing, you keep measuring the curve. So there is a machine which does that. So like these kind of things were there. And then if you have to do a quality check on coating, so there is you have to have a quality checking lab for coatings where you do number of tests for checking of the quality of the coating, because the quality of coating is very very critical.
Correct.
And in our optical industry history, if you see, lots of companies have got made because of the coating. Like Essilor, for Essilor's growth in the business growth, Rizal played a very important role.
So I think there used to be a time, 20 साल पहले people used to know only Crizol, Essilor, no one knew much.
Yeah,
It was
so
such
they
a
made it as a brand and as like a lens brand.
correct.
And even Zeiss, their Duravision Platinum coating was one of their important coatings for this thing. So coating was very very important, and Chris and Vision RX, had this satin plus. So we called our coating satin, and that became very popular because the quality of the coating was extremely good. And then we were giving a lot of variety in coatings as well. So like a green reflection, residual reflection of green, blue, and magenta. And then we also developed low reflection coating.
It was
Which is
complete white or clear.
clear. So we call it satin clear. So where you don't see any
reflection.
virtually you don't see any reflection of coating on the lens. Yeah.
So we are talking so much about lenses, sir. So I feel even in recent times, stock lens का काफी popularity बढ़ गया है. मतलब I'm not sure, but maybe I think 60.
No, you are right.
Stock lens.
It has.
Even progressive में भी stock lens आ गया. Photochromatic progressive में भी stock lens है. And then cylindrical 180, 90.
So as you know, Indian market is very price sensitive because the market is huge, and especially the lower segment of the market is very very big.
Correct.
And this is something which we have seen with the growth of Lenskart, phenomenal growth of Lenskart, which is primarily in this segment here. And then everybody realized that this segment is very big. We need to give a good quality, decent quality, not good, but decent quality lens to our budget customers, to this mass customers, which are middle class and slightly lower middle class. So, in order to reduce the cost of the lenses, of course, if you do mass production of any lens, especially single vision and stock lenses, then the cost of production is much less. So they started to expand the stock lens range, basically, whether it is in single vision or in progressive. And today they're selling in huge quantities, especially progressive, finished progressive lenses in India is selling at a very big quantity. Correct. So this is quite good. It's creating a good base of customers in India for progressives. And then later on, they will keep upgrading themselves to a higher, better designed progressives because stock lenses come with standard designs.
Correct. Correct. So I seeing your infrastructure and also, of course, इतना बड़ा lab तो नहीं कोई बना पाएगा आज की date में from raw. But if someone wants to start his own lab as a small capacity, so should he start with stock lenses first and then see the market, or he should put up a lab? And if it's a lab, then how much investment does it require someone?
So normally, it's always been that anybody starts with stock lens business and then starts to source RX lenses from the existing labs, grow his market, grow his distribution, work on the competition which is already there,
Right.
build up some market, build up some little bit of your brand,
Correct.
and then when you have some kind of a volume, then you go for your own lab. Yeah. But today there are a lot of labs are there in India, and we have seen that a lot of our customers, if there's like one of our customers is Visualize, they started to source RX lenses from us, and now they have started their own lab. Of course, the market as of lens manufacturing is become quite big now. It's somewhat, I feel it's reaching some kind of a maturity in terms of supply exceeding the demand.
Correct.
course, the demand will keep on increasing because of the country growing. This thing, the disposable income of the people is growing, but then the number of players are also quite high, and also you see this all these big companies like Lenskart and Titan. They have their own big lens manufacturing facilities. So lens manufacturing in India has grown to a large extent, very large extent now.
So since we talk about brand, I really personally love Nova. मतलब मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि इंडिया का लेंस ब्रांड जो बनाया है, and which is globally also. Like, I have a couple of my friends in Canada. He was wearing a Nova lens when he came to India,
Okay.
and the person who is behind the camera, he's also wearing Nova. So how did you thought of having your own brand, and then I see you sell it across the globe also?
For sure, we needed to have a brand of our own, especially first for the domestic market. Mm. And of course, we were the company, we had the quality, we had the product portfolio, we had the product variety of products. So we needed to brand it because you cannot sell anything without proper marketing. And to sell a lens of being a technical product and to demonstrate it, so you need a lot of marketing behind that, because apart from making brochures, marketing brochures, you need to make demonstrators, correct, which will demonstrate how this lens, the features of the lenses, and what is this lens is going to give you. So there was a lot of work done on the marketing side, and which was very, very important. And then of course we needed to have a brand, so Nova brand got created, and this Nova brand has now grown to a quite a big extent in India, and then of course internationally. So there were a lot of our customers who did not have a brand, okay, or they did not have the capability to do marketing in their own country, because not every it's not easy for anybody to do that here, because it takes a lot of money, resources, and time and everything. So we said that since you are selling our lens, why don't you sell it in Nova brand? Or you customize the Nova brand into a name which is something similar to Nova, and do it in your own country. So that was really helpful to our customers. So like if we have a customer in Germany, we would customize his marketing material in German language. Okay. And of course use the base marketing matter, the content which was already developed by us. So that's the thing, that Nova has been a long journey, and will continue to have this journey with Vision RX growing. Yeah. And this is the biggest Indian brand at the moment, lens brand. Lens brand. Yes. And, would it be like the total business of Vision RX would be the highest in India in terms of revenue, even if we include export into it as a lens brand? Yes. So as a lens company, Vision RX is the biggest. In 2024, we will be crossing 1,300 crores. Oh. Out of that, we'll have something close to 400 crores in domestic. Okay. Mm. And 900 plus in the export. Okay. Mm. So everything happens from this lab, or you have other labs also? One is in Calcutta, which I know. Yeah. So our starting lab was in Calcutta. So second biggest lab is in Calcutta, which is for domestic market. Gurgaon lab is primarily for export and also for domestic market. So of course, 75% of the production revenue is coming from Gurgaon lab. 25% is coming from Calcutta and the other labs which are all over the country. Great. So, sir, now everyone wants to know. आपने zero तो नहीं बताया जो सबको पता करने थे, but anyways, everyone wants to know कि now what Sanjiv Gupta is doing. So, what I would tell everybody, yeah, that look, the Indian market is going to give a lot of opportunity. With our GDP growing from 4.2 trillion to 7 trillion in next 5-7 years. So everybody should work hard to capture the market and to grow the market. And of course, lens has grown to a large extent. We need to catch up on other manufacturing. Mhm. So other major manufacturing which needs to catch up is frame. Correct. So what I have done is that I have encouraged my son to get into frame manufacturing. and I'm supporting him in that because being having a manufacturing background for so many years, and it becomes very easy for me to understand the technicalities of manufacturing. And my mind has always been to use the best of the technology, best of the machines which are available to manufacture anything. So we have started on frame manufacturing, and we started with metal frame manufacturing. This metal frame manufacturing also includes plating. Okay. So plating is almost 50% of the frame manufacturing process, okay, where 50% is creating the raw frame. And raw frame is where you make the rim, then you do the soldering of the bridges, the sides, the pad arms, pads, everything. You do that because of so many parts. Of course, we are not manufacturing in India. There is no ecosystem to manufacture those. Some of these, a lot of these parts have to come from China. Okay. Because they are not made from standard machines. They are made from engineering, CNC engineering machines. So in order to have that kind of ecosystem to manufacture will take some time in India. Anyhow, the important thing is to be able to make the frame and sell it to the Indian customers who are largely buying or importing from China. Okay. So that is the thing. And the next step in frame manufacturing, which we are immediately getting into, is acetate frame manufacturing. Okay. So the machines are on the way, they are coming, and they will be soon set up and all that. And then we will get on with acetate frame manufacturing as well. Okay. So that's the idea, that I want a complete ecosystem of frame manufacturing where you have metal, you have acetate, then later on followed by molding if required. Otherwise, mainly concentrate to have combination of metal and acetate. And of course, if you want a good quality frame in plastic, it has to be acetate frame. Correct. So we are looking at an ecosystem where we can produce good quality frames. Yeah. That's the idea. I mean, coming from Vision RX, the lens background, where we never compromise on quality. And same thing which I want to do in frame manufacturing along with Rohit.
Great. Great, sir. So interesting. So it would be great. We can also have a look at the lab also once.
Sure.
Yes, sir. ठीक है, fine. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And I think almost समय explain them.
Yes.
Well, it was like my dream to know about Nova and also about Vision RX.
Even I want the Indian market or the world to know about us. We have been, of course, not very open, yeah, and explicit, yeah, in this. And so many years we have been very, very busy along with our partner Essilor to create this nice company, a big company which has been highly profitable.
That's most important.
Yes, definitely is very, very important. People in business get carried away and don't bother sometimes about profit. So, but it is very, very important because you need the money keep expanding as well, to grow. And then, of course, lens business, when you need all high-tech machines, yeah. And the technology in machines is actually growing even much more. So that's why you need a good amount of money to expand here.
ठीक है, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.